Don't mess with me. This kitty's got claws, and I'm not afraid to use them.
Alright, so y'all just seen that corny ass shit.
Hi guys, welcome back to Ella Pastoral. On this channel, I typically make social commentary videos as well as talking about any and every piece of media that I've ever consumed. And as you guys saw by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about Netflix's newest thriller drama mystery show known as Wednesday. And if you guys are interested in my comments about this newest TV show, keep on watching. Okay, so before I really get into talking about my opinions on this TV show, I really want to give you guys a brief history about the Addams family. The Addams family was originally created as a satire of sorts to talk about the nuclear family and its problems, especially about how the nuclear family was portrayed in early sitcoms. For example, if you really pay attention, you can see that Gomez and Morticia are always fawning over each other and they're madly in love with each other. And this is kind of like a major, I don't even know, subversion of the usual romance trope. Because if you look at our, any family show that we have right now, or even in the past, the husband and wife literally hate each other. Like low-key, let's say Family Guy and all, I Love Lucy, they would always be low-key beefing, even though they're supposed to be a happy family. And the Addams family wants to be a subversion to that. A family that wears all black, that's weird, that's not the norm, but they still love each other and they're really close as a family. That is something that I really feel like is missing in this 2022 definition of the Addams family with our main character Wednesday. This did not feel like the Addams family, and I'm gonna just get into it. When Netflix was doing its promotional run for this TV show, I really thought that Wednesday was going to be a movie, and I really feel like it should have been a movie. The whole entire plot of this entire series was not that good for it to be a little, I guess, short series. So many people realized that the OG Wednesday was going to be the villain, and that one of the lover boys, I forgot his name, the sheriff's son, was eventually going to betray her. And I really feel like this show should not have been a show. It really wasn't that deep for it to be a show. For example, I just released a little video about Wendell and Wild and how I feel like that should have been a TV show instead of a movie. This is kind of the opposite of how I feel about this Wednesday TV show. I feel like it should have been a movie because the plot was not that deep for it to have, I don't know, been an eight episode little series that was going on. It felt very drawn out to me. And back to the point that I made about let's say 1 minute ago, I really feel like this adaptation of the Addams family did not feel like the Addams family. And before y'all come for me in the comments, I get it. This is supposed to be about Wednesday, but even though it's about Wednesday, I really feel like it didn't really tap into its source material. Like I said, the entire point of the Addams family is supposed to be a subversion of the nuclear family. So all of the stuff that you would see in a normal family, the typical all-American family, you really don't see. And the fact that Tim Burton, I'm gonna get into why I have beef with this man soon, but the fact that Tim Burton tried to make this entire thing more towards a nuclear family, I didn't like that. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. So for example, this is supposed to be a very close-knit family, and the thing that's supposed to make them odd is the fact that they're into strange things, into death and macabre stuff. But the one thing that's supposed to stay true throughout any iteration of the Addams family is that they have strong love for each other. And I remember I saw somebody on TikTok talking about how this entire Wednesday show feels like a modern AU version of the Addams family. It makes so much sense. Someone said that this reminds them of a fanfic of the Addams family, and now that I put that into context, it makes a lot of sense. Because the original Addams family, everybody was so close. The fact that they wanted to make one of the most primary conflicts of this TV show, the fact that Wednesday has beef with her mom, don't even make no sense to me. I remember, I forgot, that tall lady that was in Game of Thrones, I'm gonna put a picture somewhere on the screen. She was like, why don't you talk to your mom? And this is coming from someone who literally has beef with her mom. The headmaster lady, the headmistress, I guess, literally wanted Gomez, and Morticia stole him from him on the low key. And she literally was like, why don't you talk to your mom? Your mom was cool. And Wednesday's like, yo, you want me to respect my mom? My house mother of a mom? I literally was flabbergasted because I'm like, don't you ever do Morticia freaking Addams like that. Morticia Addams is a baddie, no jokes, she's a baddie. And the fact that we had like Tim Burton specifically had Wednesday like diminishing her mom, like, yo, you want me to be a house like my mom? Oh, my mom, she was so cool. Like, it was giving me very much how a lot of teen angst movies are written nowadays, how they're always making the teenage girl go through like the angst where it's like, I hate my mom, and I just felt like that was so uncharacteristic of Wednesday. And now that I'm really talking about how like a lot of the things in the show didn't make any sense, a lot of this was written as a fanfic. I've literally read fanfic that has this plots like this. Like, sometimes like everything about the show would take me for a loop-de-loop. For example, there was this scene where Wednesday was being the little chocolate girl seller, and she was talking about how, like, you know, it was really like the Native Americans and the indigenous people that was getting down with the chocolate. And then it'll be like the next scene will be Tyler and Xavier fighting over her, and it was really giving me like insert AU fan fiction. Like, if you guys have read fan fiction, you have seen a plot like this, and it was just so jarring because like I was like, how did my sis Wednesday get trapped in a love triangle? And even people are saying it's a little love, I don't know, cubicle, because they trying to ship Enid with Wednesday. But I just don't understand, like, it was just so unrealistic, because I'm just like, this girl has a personality of two rocks rubbing against each other. How are all these boys like going on and falling for her? And this is coming from someone who really enjoyed Jenna Ortega specifically as Wednesday. Like, Miss Girl 8, I first got introduced to her through you, and I was like, yo, I need this girl back in some way, shape, or form, because Miss Girl can act, and she really made sure to eat and devour this role. Like, I'm trying to wear my little two braids in remembrance of Jenna Ortega as Wednesday, and I really feel like she did her job really well. But in terms of everyone else, I was giving everybody the side eye. I want to talk about Enid. Enid is her roommate, and she's supposed to be the foil, I guess, to Wednesday. And I hate to say this, I'm seeing a lot of fan edits. Of Miss Enid, girl, and I don't know what to tell y'all, but I did not like her. Like, she was cute and bubbly, and I usually love cute, bubbly girls. Like, I'm a K-pop girl group fanatic. When it comes to cute girls, girly girls, like, I'm a girl who loves girls. Like, there's a little meme that's like, oh, I support women's rights. I'm a girl who supports women's wrongs. But I really could not stand the way Enid was written. Like, she has the energy of a manic pixie girl written by a 40-year-old man, which makes a lot of sense because Tim Burton. I'm gonna get on why I don't like Tim Burton soon, I promise y'all. But it was just so weird to hear some of the dialogue that she was saying. Like, as somebody who is relatively young, like, I was in high school like a couple of years ago, it is so cringe to hear people my age say stuff like that. She was like, oh, I'm gonna introduce you to TikTok. You gotta post on Instagram. You know I'm the school gossiper. Like, everything she said, I screamed. I was like, oh. Me and my best friend, we were watching the show together, and we had to look at each other like, girl, I know she just didn't say that. We would have to pause the show, take a deep breath, and stop, because that joint was so cringy. And I get it. No, I don't get it. I feel like I just hate it when like adults write kids like that, because it's like they trying so hard to be hip and popping. Like, who is letting y'all write this? I remember, like, back to the point about this sounds like a really bad fan fiction. It gives me like the energy of like Wattpad fan fiction. When, if y'all read fan fiction, y'all know what I'm talking about, where the author wants to start including like those really ugly Pinterest pictures, and has the audacity to start letting the main character sing, and you just have to be like, girl, this story is too good for you to be including all of that. And now let's talk about this love triangle. I'm still hot about that. Wednesday, she ain't need no love triangle. Like, at all. And I just feel like it was just so unnecessary. Like, I remember somebody headcanon Wednesday as a romantic, and I really like that headcanon, because I really just can't see her being with either of these two dudes. Like, Xavier, I don't even know if this is the correct white boy, but the creepy dude who was painting all them pictures of freaking Wednesday and getting all mad, I had personal beef for him. Let me talk about this. This man right here done dumped my beautiful, beautiful queen, Bianca, because he felt like she was using her siren powers to manipulate her. Only to turn around at like the freaking Never Dance or whatever it was called and say, I need you to make me forget about Wednesday using your powers. Be for real. And I'm really glad Bianca called him out on that. I was so disgusted. Like, I really feel like First, I really didn't like this whole nonsense rivalry that was going on between Bianca and Wednesday. I felt like it was completely unnecessary. But Xavier, I had to give Xavier like the complete side eye. And also, we never really found out what Homeboy's connection was to like that demon beast thing. My eyes are still looking at this boy all types of sideways because things ain't making sense. But the audacity and the fact that I don't see nobody talking about how Xavier did my sis Bianca. Like, imagine, because Bianca's backstory is that she's a siren and her mother now is a part of a cult and she escaped the cult. So she always feels like she has no one who really like can see her for her and is always trying to make her seem like she's a manipulative gaslighter type thing, right? And then she has this dude who she really, really likes, right? Fawning over this new girl who, if you're being honest, Wednesday is annoying. Like, imagine you coming to school and this Wednesday carries herself in an obnoxious way. Like, if she was a real person in the real world, we wouldn't like her. Like, she has a very pretentious energy. And some of the dialogue she be saying, I'll be like, girl, if this wasn't a TV show, nobody would really like you. Like, she got that main character's riz, or whatever y'all be saying. That main character riz. Because sometimes, like, her dialogue, I just be like, girl. And the way I remember when she literally tricked Enid and that other dude to sneak off to that mansion, and she just thought it was okay. Like I don't even know what to say. Like, she be giving annoying vibes. And then on top of that, what really bugged me is everybody, like, I don't even know, like, all of this ship content. I'm still mad that nobody is giving my good sis Bianca the time and date that she deserves. I'm seeing everybody being shipped to where, Wednesday. But I'm surprised nobody is doing, like, an enemies to lovers thing with Bianca. Like, she deserves some fan edits too, like, because most of the fandom stuff that I'm seeing on TikTok is those two little white boys, and I'm like, yeah, they cool. But Bianca deserves some edits too. Like, come on, give my girl some spice. And now that we're on the topic of Bianca, I want to talk about Tim Burton and why I literally hate this man so much. So if you guys had watched my Wendell and Wild video, shameless plug or whatever, I talked about how Tim Burton is like a notorious like racist and how he really doesn't like black people. And before y'all come for me, you can see how his dislike towards black people can be seen in his black characters. And I just really want y'all to listen before y'all try to say anything. Because there's this one dude on TikTok saying that people are trying to cancel the show. People are trying to get the show, like, canceled because of Tim Burton. And that's not really true. Like, literally all of the black people that I've talked to really like the show. But we still have to admit that Tim Burton is racist. And he has a lot of prejudice towards black people. And we can really see that in the way his characters are written. Okay, so I had to really collect my thoughts on this. So I want you guys to first realize that Tim Burton, he has some prejudice towards black people and other people of color. Like, he specifically says that he doesn't like people of color and black people in his aesthetic because it doesn't fit. And we can really see his prejudice screaming and being demonstrated in the way his black characters are written. So we have 3 black characters in this show. We have Bianca, the mayor's son, and we also have the mayor. All of these people are viewed in an antagonistic lens. And yes, I do get that, you know, these people are eventually, like, I don't know, like, humanized a little bit later on in the series or whatever. It still gives me the ick, especially seeing that Tim Burton was the one who made these characters and his long running issue with black people. We can really see that this man is giving confused. It's like he doesn't know if he wants to be serious about talking about marginalized issues or if he wants to it was giving half and half. I didn't know what this man wanted. In one instance, he would use Jenna Ortega and the characters of Wednesday and Goody Addams to be talking about how marginalized people are continually oppressed. We literally have the Pilgrims. Oppressing the outsiders, and these are the outcasts too. It was giving me like, this is a racial analogy and this is a magical people analogy. Like, racism x magic is giving Harry Potter. How badly, like, there's a racial elements and a prejudice elements feeding on. That's the same vibes I got from watching this. The fact that he made like one of like the only 2 black men in this series related to colonialization, it was giving a bad read. I hate to say this. Your 2 black characters, right? Because Bianca, we're excluding her from this, right? How they're going to be in charge of a colonial property known as Pilgrim Land. It was giving extremely tone deaf, because I just had to be like, the 2 black men in this small, quaint town that was founded by a racist pilgrim. The black man is going to push up and promote the racist pilgrim. Weird. And I know like it was so jarring because first I know Tim Burton and his issues, but the fact that Goody and Wednesday will be in the cut like, we gotta support minorities, and then like taking myself out of that scene and then looking at the overall show, I'd be like, what are y'all even trying to say? Because for example, having that white boy try to literally poison a school of outcasts, especially because like it was just giving weird, like the racial subtext was giving really weird, and it was giving, I don't even know how to say this, like it was giving a form of supremacy. Because for example, like if you look at the context and the subtext that's going on, it's really like this is like a racial hate crime me type situation that we got going on. And we can really see this with how like the colonialists are like oppressing like the outcasts, but specifically the indigenous people. And we can see this with how that white family was actively trying to kill all of the outcasts. And it was even a little bit more on the nose with how the white boy kept attacking Gomez and Morticia, who are supposed to be our like Latina characters. The whole time I said, a certain group of white cloaked people would really love y'all. And then to see the black man align himself with these people who give the subtext of really racist really threw me off. And the black man to promote like a really racist colonialized narrative was really off to me. Because the whole time I was thinking, I was like, you really had a black man have a colonial pilgrim town as his main source of money and be proud of it too, be proud and like, this is the best thing to ever happen to our town. Like these people wouldn't be related to slavery. That's the whole thing. That was the main thing I was thinking when I was seeing that. I was like, girl, you lucky my sis Wednesday burned this down, because these people would have been owning people who look like us. And I also really have to say, I really did not like how the way Bianca was written. I get it. She was later redeemed in the later half of the show. But damn, I would love to live in a world where a black woman can start out in the beginning of a piece of media and not be either the angry black woman, the sassy black woman, or the mammy/best friend archetype. Like I would love to just see a black girl just living in her truth and not be an antagonistic figure, you feel me? Like, I just don't know. It just gave me the ick, because I get it. Oh, they were not villains. They're not villains. Because even as a whole, we as like Hollywood in general has low-key moved away from evil villains. Everybody's an anti-hero now, I guess. But damn, I would love for black women to get positive roles, quirky black girl roles where they don't start off as villains. Like, when I tell y'all, it literally made my skin itch to see this back and forth hatred of whatchamacallit. It really made my skin itch to see Bianca and Wednesday supposedly fighting over that one dude, Thomas. I even forgot his name. Brad? I even forgot. But the fact that I was seeing them fight like this, I was like, girl, I just don't want to see it. But yeah, I just need to get that off my chest. I do get that Bianca was humanized more during the later half of the season, but I can already see how the fandom is going to treat her. Like, fandoms are specifically notorious for treating black women terribly. And I love my sis Bianca. She's just like me. For real. And I really hope that, you know, people are kinder to her and show her the love that she deserves. The fact that I'm seeing like little to no edit/fan art of Bianca is abysmal. Seeing as she's one of the she's one of the characters with the most unique character design. Like, she's a dark-skinned woman with blue eyes and she loves bright makeup. Like, she's gonna stand out. And the fact that no one's making fan art of her is like a little suspicious. And I really hope that if we do get a season 2, which I think we are going to get, seeing as this is one of Netflix's most watched shows, I think it even beat Dahmer as Netflix's most watched show like ever. I really hope that they get more writers, because I don't know, like the idea of Tim Burton like being in charge of writing these characters, and the fact that I already described how fan fictiony it was, and the fact that the Addams family really wasn't given family in this first season is a little alarming to me. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I really have to thank Jenna Ortega. Like, I'm telling y'all, if Jenna Ortega wasn't Wednesday, I don't think this show would be as good as we're making it out to be. So everybody say thank you, Jenna Ortega, for signing on to this movie and killing it. the fact that she's able to just stare like for long periods of time and not move her eyes, beautiful. Okay guys, so while editing this video, a lot of things came out about the Wednesday show that I felt like I needed to include to kind of give you guys a, I don't know, an update on this whole situation.
This place is ground zero for horny gypsy moths.
And I know people are gonna see that and think, oh, I thought that was a slur. Huh, I guess not. Let me explain it for y'all. So there actually isn't any insect called the gypsy moth, at least not anymore. The name was officially changed to the spongy moth due to the very, very racist origins behind the name. According to the leader of the Roma Studies program at Harvard University, Magda Matake, racial slurs like the G-word have been particularly offensive and dangerous for Romani people. They've been constantly dehumanized through language, such as links to insects. Why do you think Europeans named a pest after Romani people? Critical thinking. For anyone who wants to say, oh, it's not racist, the name has already been officially changed because it's racist. And absolutely no hate to the actor who plays Eugene. He's just reading the lines given to him, or anyone else on that Wednesday show. The change was recent, it's understandable. This video is simply to educate you, not hate on anyone.
So while the show Wednesday was being filmed, Jenna Ortega said that she was kind of forced to do the dancing scene while she felt sick, and we later found out that she had COVID. And I just find that really interesting. Like, she was forced to practically film even though she felt sick, and I feel like that creates a very hostile, toxic work environment, because if you guys don't know, we're suffering through a triple-demic: flu, RSV, and COVID, and I don't know, it's just a bad look. And I also saw this really good Tumblr post by the Tumblr user AK Just Mary, and I really feel like they made a good point about the surface level diversity that was shown in this Wednesday show. So I'm just going to read you some snippets from their Tumblr post. And so it says, I cannot believe there's a scene in this show where Morticia Addams, a white woman, tells a black man he has no idea what it feels like to not be believed. I can't believe that the ringleader of the bullies who is bigotly abusing the outcast is a young black boy. The anti-blackness is insane. Like, really? It's so obvious that there are next to no POC in significant creative roles on this show, which is so effing confusing that they made Wednesday Latine but made her ancestry an integral part of the series. I feel like a broken record at this point, but the surface level diversity in the casting means absolutely nothing so long as the people holding creative control are white. It's just elaborate puppetry, and too many of y'all fall for it every time. And so I'm just going to leave a link to their full Tumblr post so you can see what they're talking about, but I have to absolutely agree with everything they're saying, and I'm really glad I was able to find this Tumblr post to really articulate how I felt. And yeah, so that was just my overall thoughts and opinions about this Wednesday show. I really feel like Jenna Ortega made this show really good. She made it watchable. Everything else, though, I feel like there's room for improvement in terms of season 2. I really feel like they got the aesthetics right, but I really want them to be more considerate of the fact that the Addams family and all of these properties are supposed to have the Addams family be a satire of a nuclear family. Like, don't play into the tropes that all of the other, like, I don't even know, normal movies play into. The fact that Wednesday was an angsty teenager when she's supposed to love her family. Maybe for next season, we can have her, like, teen rebellious phase be her, like, liking pink stuff. Because then that'd be a satire. Because then we'd be like, oh my God. Or it wouldn't be a satire, it'd be a subversion. Because we'd be like, oh my goodness. That's not the Wednesday Addams we know. Something a little different instead of playing into the tropes that we have. I really hope, I know there's a writer's strike coming soon. I know that. But when we get the new season, I really hope they hire more writers so we can flesh out the black characters and we can flesh out a better plot. Everything about the plot, I was low-key able to tell, like the original Wednesday being the villain and stuff. So I have high hopes, but I'm a little scared. And so yeah, that was my final opinions for this, I don't even know, review of Netflix's Wednesday Addams show. But if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. It really helps, guys. If you want to see more of my face, make sure that you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you guys want more from me, I'm putting some videos that I know you guys will like in the end cards, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.